children of all ages.
Did you rub the mug?
I didn't rub the mug, Clyde.
Why didn't you rub the mug?
All right, hold on. I'll rub the. Ah, damn it. Hold on. Entertain them, Clyde. Entertain them.
No, I'm not going to entertain them. You haven't rubbed the mug. I mean, honestly, do our traditions mean nothing?
Okay. All right. We're back. And we're back with the. Oh, you son of a bitch. And rubbing of the mug brings you right back. You see, I can do anything I want with you, Clyde, as long as I've got you here. In fact, I could just like spill you out. You're still there. Why are you still there? Because it takes them a minute to push the button. And then I can just rub and bring you straight back. Anyway, Glidesy, how are you, my friend?
Good. How about yourself?
I am well. Did you see my short little 1-minute video that I put online today releasing the 2022 Rolex price increase? Did you see that?
No, I did not. I didn't know you put out anything. You still have a channel?
You should really pay a lot more attention. But first,
I don't even know you still have a channel.
I still have a channel. Let's
you still have a channel.
Let's welcome the punters. Guess who was first? Fist, Valen Grayman. And we have George Jason, Kyle T, and Dr. TikTok, Tom Cusane Flip, and Zippo, William Riz, Shot in the Dark, and a variety of other punters who apparently don't know that we're Rebel streaming right now, Clyde. You know we're Rebel streaming, right?
No, that's racist. We're Rebel Wilson streaming.
Okay, I understand. Well, we've been banned from the Archie channel, so here we are. We have to do our own thing. Clyde, let's do a quick fist watch check. I'm going to do mine literally. Clearly, you never turn on your camera. So give us the figurative, verbal fist watch check. What are you wearing there, Clydesy?
Yeah, well.
Apple Watch? Ooh, what is that? Is it a Breguet? I can't really, with these glasses.
No, it's not.
What is it?
It's an Urban Jurgensen.
Yeah, an Urban Jurgensen. So I see you've been shopping the local garage sales.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
I understand.
Yeah, and there's this nice older guy, Finnish guy named Kari Voutilainen manning the garage sale booth. So
do you know who the CFO of Rolex USA is? And I don't know how I just learned this only in the last day or so, but do you know the name of the chief financial officer of Rolex USA?
No.
I'll give you like 3 guesses. First guess.
Kari Voutilainen.
No. Second guess.
Philippe Dufour.
No. Third guess.
Hey, fuck you.
You said you'd behave, Clyde. Third guess.
You gave me the finger just now.
All right. Third guess.
Okay. Roger Smith.
No. I got to tell you. Punters. Do any of you punters know the name? The chief financial officer.
No, we don't care.
Clyde, it's a name we all know and love. Let me put it out there like that. You're not even going to believe it when I tell you.
Canon, sorry.
No.
Federico Ioso.
No.
TGV.
Look closer. Good one. Look closer to home, Clyde. Look closer to home.
No idea.
The chief financial officer of Rolex USA is a gentleman, and I swear to God, this is the truth. You can Google it on this one. The CFO of Rolex USA is none other than one Mark Goldberg. Can you believe that, Clydesy?
Well, that would explain a few freaking things.
Well, it's not me, sadly. It's Mark with a K, Goldberg. But anyway, apparently we're keeping it in the family. Cousin Mark.
Nice.
What can you do?
Nice.
Clydesy, a lot has happened. We're going to talk about the Rolex price increase, but first, real quick, the Panda at MSRP from my AD. I want to thank Jim and John, the owners, and Brian, the manager over at quick blank at James and Sons in Orland Park, Illinois. They got a few locations, but that's the location where this came from. Clyde, this was a matter of years in the making to put together this deal. What do you think? Do you love it?
And most of all, you'd like to thank your first cousin, Mark, with a K, Goldberg.
Well, he probably has 5 or 6 of them. So first, real quick impressions of this watch. Now, Clyde, you always said that you respected me for offloading my first steel bezel Daytona that had the Rolex in-house movement. So I think it was like a 2012.
Right.
I didn't come around.
Steel bezel.
Yeah. And you said you always respected me for bagging on that iconic watch. And then you weren't sure how you were going to feel about me getting this one.
Can you tell the time on it?
Because here's the funny thing. A couple quick things. First off, and we'll get to that exact question. Now, let me answer that first. You can. Look, it's not the most legible watch in the Rolex lineup. There's just no doubt about that. But a couple things. First, the handset is wider. Okay, so the hands are wider than they were on that original iteration than what I had. So that alone makes it more legible. And I could not tell this by looking at it, but when I took a macro shot of the handset, and I'll put this in the unboxing video later, there are black demarcations built into the hands at the tips and at the base, like after the lume and before the lume on both the hour and the minute hand. And that's intended to reduce glare and up legibility against the stark white of the Panda dial. So basically, Clyde, what you have here is a Rolex bracelet on which you can tell time if you squint at it just a littlest bit. But it is more legible than the original version that I had. That is true.
Have you ever thought about having any work done? Because if you did, then you'd be squinting permanently, and it'd be easier for you to read your watch.
Not only have I had work done, but I have considered lots of work done. I mean, these tired old eyes are a little bit of a mess. Actually, they told me I've got cataracts, Clive, but it's not time to work on them yet. They want to wait 5 or 6 years before it'll be worth, before it'll be worth doing. But one of these days they're going to open me up and give me new lenses. Anyway, look, the legibility on this thing is better than it was with the steel bezel. And that brings me talking, since we're mentioning bezel, I love this. Weird things have happened. First of all, the fact that it's got a black ceramic bezel pulls the whole watch together, whereas with the steel bezel, it just sort of like melted into nothingness. And so this wears larger. And that was really my problem with the steel one, the steel bezel one. It just seemed dinky. Now, the dimensions haven't changed at all, but it just doesn't look dinky, does it?
Well, of course the dimensions haven't changed at all. When you got the old watch, there was 3 dimensions. Now there's still only 3 dimensions. So technically the dimensions have not changed.
What I'm saying is technically, what is it? Supposedly 40, but in reality, it's like a 39, and it wears like a 39. But for whatever reason, I'm really enjoying it. So, and I also have the OP41 in there. Yes. We should talk about this in a little while. But I have the ridiculously now overpriced Tiffany blue dial. I mean, why are you laughing, Clyde?
That's insanity. I mean, good way to play the market. You called it. You named it. You named it. You called it. You shamed it.
It's a little true, except for where I thought I was going to get my price boost was from the discontinuation of that Stella dial. Then that hasn't even happened yet. Where I got my ridiculous price, boost was from the Patek 5711 reissue in literal Tiffany blue. The first one selling at auction for $5.5 million. And
with that howling.
Clyde, let's leave the Archie soundboard out of this because we don't want any strikes. But
no. It wasn't the Archie soundboard. It was someone yelling, "Hey, Stella."
Stella.
Thank you.
Could have been a contender. Anyway, so that drove when I made the video that I had paid $17,900 for the so-called Stella dial.
Can I play it again? Can I?
Sure, go ahead.
No, I don't want to.
Let's go. Come on, Clyde. Find the button.
You quit that howling. Hey, Stella!
I mean, you got to admit that does sound a fair amount like Archie, right?
Hey, Stella!
Anyway, Clyde, calm down. So I paid $17,900, and it's trading for anywhere between $25,000 and $35,000 now. And they haven't even discontinued it yet, which is something that's going to probably happen somewhere between January and April, somewhere in there, I think.
Okay, what is the MSRP of that sucker?
Oh, it's $59,500. You know, like
no, of your Daytona. What is the MSRP?
Okay. MSRP on the Daytona is, what is it, $13,350, something like that, $13,400. I know.
I'm sorry. I'm just laughing. I'm laughing with you at all the morons who are paying like 4 times that amount.
You know, yeah, it's heading for 50. I think I made a prediction on video about 6 months ago that it's heading for 50. When I did that, it was at 30. Now it's at 40, 42. And I do think it's going to 50. Here's what I can tell you, owner experience wise, on the Panda Daytona. First, the dimensions of it are ridiculously good, excellent. And mine is running +2 or so a day. So the accuracy on this watch is ridiculously good. The difference in the movement, it's a 70-hour power reserve. It's an updated movement compared to the previous version that I had. And what I noticed is on that older version, when you unscrewed the pusher and you wanted to start the chronograph, you had to jam it really hard, and you had to push it so hard it left a mark on your finger. This doesn't do that. This is a smooth and easy click. The movement is much smoother. Mm-hmm. Everything runs better. The accuracy is better. The power reserve is better. But is it a $42,000 watch, Clyde? What do you think?
No.
I don't either. You know, I don't either, and I wouldn't have paid that. Now, I am very grateful to my authorized dealer, James & Sons in Orland Park, for having sold me this watch, even though it took years, for me to finally, get there on the list. So I wouldn't want anybody to think that it's like an easy process to get this. It's
now,
not.
Are you ever going to finally let him know that you're not, in fact, the chief financial officer of Rolex?
Never, Clyde. I'm never going to tell them that. I'm never going to tell them. But what I'll tell you is, I do think it's worth a premium. I just don't think it's worth a what is it? What's the premium now? The premium is right around $30,000 premium is what's on this watch now, ish. $28,000, $29,000, $30,000 premium. And no, I think that's too much. Now, I mean, I know it has a lot to do with what the market will bear, but honestly, let me tell you what it feels like. It feels like a good $20,000 watch. It does.
Now, also, can I correct something? Would you mind highlighting Richard B. DeMille's comment?
Let me find him. What time was it?
6:42. No, that is completely untrue. I called him a horned diabetic inbred incel.
In other words, he's merely got the order of the insults wrong. Is that correct?
Horned diabetic inbred incel.
I understand. I comprehend. Hold on one sec.
Aaron, can you come here? Fuck, he's reading her lips.
Anyway, guys, well, all I can tell you is I just don't think the premium is quite as. I think the premium at $5,000 or $6,000, $7,000 is worth it. A $30,000 premium on this watch isn't, just because, gosh, you're at the original MSRP then of the 5711. But
nice.
What does that sell for now, Clyde? I mean, not the Tiffany dial $3, $4, $5 million one, but those are like a couple $100,000, right?
No, I'm just sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time watching these prices go on by. It's like, nope.
Yeah, well, anyway, what I got to say is you're very, very lucky to get one of these at MSRP, but
nice wrangling.
So it was a real. Do I get Wrangler of the Year for this, or what's my reward, Clyde? Oh, and we didn't talk about the price increase, which we're going to have to.
Okay. When did you release video about the price increase? Let me go back and look at subscription.
We'll get there. I mean, I just uploaded a 1-minute video not that long ago.
Oh, well, you suck. You're acting. Yeah, okay.
Fred says, "Look, metals, gold, silver. Your next move as to Rolex." stack steel Rolex sports away for now. I agree with that comment, Fred. I've got a couple of Rolex in the safe that I rarely wear. The James Cameron and the 50th anniversary Redline, Sea Dweller. I don't, especially, they're very hard to wear. Like this is an easy watch to wear. The Hulk, easy watch to wear. Any Submariner, easy to wear. Any GMT. But boy, that
the Machine 3 is saying 5711 was 35K. Now it's approaching the 5712 MSRP or 45K.
Oh, I don't think you can get a 5711 for 45K. I mean, I think it's at least $100,000 now.
No, I think they're talking about MSRP.
Yeah, but okay, but the fact of the matter is, no one can get one. Theoretically, it's discontinued, so you're definitely onto the secondary market now to get. You know, but anyway, guys, Rolex. So Rolex is pumping up the price across the board for 2022, and Clydesy, the price increase averages out to 3.4%. What do you think of that?
I think it needs to be 34%. They really need to increase it.
The funny thing is the way I would phrase it is now only 3.4% more unobtainable than it was before, and before it was 100% unobtainable. Almost all Rolex. So now
probably what's going to happen is that they're not going to give their dealers any percentage of that. And what, as you know, Rolex requires their poor ADs to front a lot of their costs up front. So
well, that's correct. Let me first state that the information that I have does not come from my AD. It comes from multiple ADs, not including mine, all around the United States of America.
But what about your cousin Mark Goldberg? What does he say about it?
Let's leave him out of it because money penny, right? Okay.
Right.
So first off, Clyde, do you know what the markup is on Rolex? Because it varies from watch company to watch company. And
I think it's at least a 40% markup, if I'm thinking right. How much? Lower markup? 30% markup? 20% markup?
Watch your screen play.
What? Are you saying I need to get my prostate checked? What?
Clydesy, you said 40, I said no, and then I made the lower signal. You said 20, I said no.
30.
I made higher.
35.
There you go.
Okay.
That's the markup on a Rolex per authorized dealers, not mine, in various parts of the country. And so I mean, it is possible to make $1 on Rolex if you're an authorized dealer. The problem is, look, you have your good AD and you have your bad AD. None of them are getting the supply that they would want. The bad AD sells them out the back door at over retail. The good AD sells them to actual customers for retail. And I think it's hard to be a good AD right now. It's hard because you can make a larger profit if you sell it out the back door. The problem is Rolex is leaning on all of them now to sell to what they call trusted customers, people that they know who won't flip the watch, which basically means, Clyde, you're out.
Now, are the ones in San Francisco, are they gay Ds?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Anyway, actually, I don't know the AD in San Francisco, but I hear a lot of the punters in the Bay Area are not happy with the ADs in that area. Apparently, very difficult to get a watch out of those guys. But if you are a good AD, you've been instructed by Rolex to sell to customers who have a history with you, so that you have relative certainty as the AD that the watch that you sell them today won't wind up on the gray market tomorrow. Now, I paid $13,500, whatever it was, plus tax for this. So I was out the door, and I don't remember exactly. Let's call it $14,350. If I were to call one of the resellers and just ask them what they would wire me once I ship them my watch, and I don't even mean an end user, I just mean like a Del Rey watch or a David SW. I don't know what they would give me for it, but my best guess is at least 30. And so I would more than double my money, but I would be screwing my relationship with my authorized dealer. So, and not only that, I didn't buy it to make money. I bought it to love it. And I'm just glad that I do. But it is a terrible temptation for people to.
What time is it?
Hold on, Clyde. Give me a minute. I'm going to look at the Daytona. It's going to take me 5 or 10 minutes to calculate the time.
And then you're going to end up looking at your computer.
You just look at the computer. It's 6:52 Chicago time, Clyde. Jerry says, so how do ADs actually check if you still have your watch? Not a flipper, just curious. And that is an important question. So the answer is, well, let's start with how they register your watch, Jerry. So when they register your watch, they take the card. It's a new registration and warranty card. RF frequency data chip built into it. So they take that card and they tap it on they tap it on an iPhone. The iPhone has been supplied to them by Rolex. It is loaded with Rolex software. So they touch, and what happens is immediately they are sending the details of that serial number to Rolex, and Rolex knows what watch that is. They know the second that it was sold. They know what AD it is. They are not. I don't think they're given the name of the end user, so I think not. But they know when it's sold. Now, if then the customer then flips it, or they sell it, or the bad AD sells it to an end user who sells to the gray market, or he sells it right to the gray market. If that serial number should appear on Chrono 24, I do believe that Rolex looks at social media, so they can run that serial number and they can see, was that sold a year ago?
I've been told they actually have a little counter. It's like they have the equivalent of the NSA checking social media.
And you know what? Most companies do now, Clive. Like if you work for United Airlines and you post crap about United Airlines, they're going to know because they are sweeping social media. They have experts who do that. And so it's very reasonable to assume that Rolex also does, that they're looking at social media. And at the end of the day, what happens is they just want to know if there's a serial number put forward, they're going to run it. If that was a watch that was sold 1 or 2 years ago, Rolex is going to, I think they'll ignore it. If it was sold a couple of days ago, theoretically, they could take action. The question mark is, are they? And
they can take action against the AD, but they can't take action against the individual because
that's correct.
Yeah. Now
you're allowed to sell your own property.
Yeah, because it is you bought that watch in fee simple. In other words, you own it. Yeah, there are no restrictions on your ownership.
Well, that's correct, Clyde, which is how you've gotten away with it so many times. But also, too, theoretically, they're not allowed to take direct action, at least in the United States, against an AD either. Because they could be accused of restraint of trade or price fixing, both of which are very problematic in the United States. But they could magically have difficulty shipping that AD. That AD could find himself unable to get inventory for a couple of months, which will hurt them. They can exact penalties, and
they can say, we want you to do your displays in the store, but we just spent $100,000 getting the displays redone last year.
They kind of do that anyway. But at any rate, I guess here's my point. I wish that Rolex would take a stronger hand in monitoring the gray market. And in fact, Rolex,
a pimp hand.
Look, they already spend $100 million per year in marketing. Why don't they just spend $10 or $20 million a year in buying inventory right off of Chrono 24, running the serial numbers, identifying the bad ADs? And you know who would really like to see the bad ADs cut off? The good AD. Because those guys are selling according to the rules, and it's less profitable. It's harder. They're competing with people who are playing fast and loose with the rules. So nobody would like to see supply increase to the good AD more than the good AD. So I think that Rolex is complicit.
Yep.
Mark, I'll trade you an up-to-date vaccine card. Thank you, Al. I have my own. Limiting warranty top original seller will be a great way to reduce prices because they'll be less attractive to buyers without the warranty. Well, I think what Darren's talking about there, Clyde, is how, like in the UK, the AD would hold the warranty card. They'd give the customer the watch and hold the warranty card. And they did do that for a couple of years, but they don't even do it there anymore. And here it's patently illegal. You can't do that. Oh, look, we have
Darren really wants a ID. Oh wait,
Penn football. Well, what we have here is we have Don Haynes, Danes. So
Hyundai, Star Wars story.
Here's the thing. In the United States, and I think probably in Europe too, it's technically illegal to hold back the warranty card pending some artificial deadline. They just couldn't get away with it here. And in fact, eventually they quit doing it in the UK, which just says that they got busted out for doing that. So I don't think that's the answer. I think the answer is they should buy back inventory and magically find it difficult to ship to the bad AD. Da Machine says, I think Rolex secretly likes all of the BS that goes on in the gray market. It's a lot of hype and free marketing, gives them a lot of wiggle room for future price increases. And I could not agree more. I think Da Machine nails it exactly. And what he's saying here, Clyde, is that Rolex is complicit, really. Oh, yes. And I agree.
Complicit, not implicit.
I am with you. So
rather illicit.
Don Haynes got the call to get a Tudor GMT, and he passed. Christmas sucks. Don, the Tudor ADs are loaded with inventory. You will have zero problem going in.
Friday night, 2 different Rolex ADs in my town. Not actually, Friday morning, within an hour after they opened. One called, said, hey, do you want a Black Bay 58 in silver? The other one called me, or would you like the Black Bay 58 in gold?
Yeah, you do not need to get the call to get anything from Tudor right now, except for the Panda GMT. Gentlemen, I must take my leave of you, Clyde. I'm sorry to cut this short, but I've got a family Zoom that I've got to do. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll do this again soon.